G'day guys, how you going? Jen here. So as promised, I've decided to put up a video in regards to goal setting because you probably would have noticed the last few weeks that I've been flailing around a little bit around the same weight at 88.8. So that's not a bad thing because it's not meaning I'm putting on weight, which is really good considering some of the poor choices I made lately. But sometimes you need to have a bit of direction and you need to have those goals to move towards. And I know that I've laxed a little bit when it comes to setting those goals to be able to do it. So what I'm going to go through with you today is goal settings, and just keep an eye out because we're going to have a workshop at the studio regarding goal setting and putting those goals into the future, because when you're able to do that, it's more likely that it's going to actually occur as well, and you'll be quite surprised how well it actually works. So before we get started, before you put any goal into the future, what you need to do is you have to have a specific goal. So when I do mine, I like to, for this purpose, I've actually added a 1 week, but generally you do a 1 month, 3 months, 6, 9, 12 months, and then you can do a 3, 5 year or however long that you want to do it. And so these are really good ways to kind of keep you on that path to achieving those goals to success as well. But when you are setting your goals, you need to make sure that you're using those SMART goals. Now, a lot of people might have already heard of SMART goals, and that's exactly what it is. So SMART goals is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. So basically, when you're setting a goal, it needs to be specific. You can't just say, oh, I want to earn more money. Well, what does that actually mean? If you were to get $1, well, then technically you've just earned more money, haven't you? So you need to be very specific about what you want to do. So for example, for myself, my 1 week, my specific goal, part of the goal, is that I want to reach 86 kilos by next week. So next weigh-in, I want to be 86 kilos. So that is specific. You can't get past that, can you? So the next part is the measurable. So how are you going to measure it? How are you going to tell that you've actually reached that goal? So basically, me being on the scales, having a look down at the scales and it's saying 86 kilos. So that's my way of measuring that I've actually achieved that goal within that week. Again, achievable 2.8 kilos in a week. It is achievable. It just means that I need to step it up a little bit more to be able to do it, but it is actually achievable. So it's not something that is out of my reach to be able to do. It's not like I want to lose 10 kilos in a week, because that isn't achievable. So again, it's a matter of being able to have those measurable and achievable goals that you can do as well, and being realistic about it as well. Again, the same type of concept. You've got to be able to do it. And if you can't do it, then there's no point in setting that goal. And it's got to be time-based as well. So it's one thing saying that I want to be 86 kilos, but when exactly do you want to be 86 kilos? So for me, it's a week. So that's specific. So I've specifically made my weight. It's measurable, being on the scales, it's achievable and realistic, and it's time-based because I've given myself a week to do it. So that's a perfect SMART goal to be able to set and put into the future. So for the purpose of this, now there are some areas within the goal setting and putting it into the future that you guys might not be aware of, and that's why it's more specific to do in a workshop as well, because of the fact that there are some things that you might not have even heard of before that we'll be using when it's setting those goals into the future. So don't worry so much about that at the moment, but please come along to the workshop when we have it up and check out our events, and we'll keep everyone posted as we go along. So basically, the steps of putting a goal into the future and getting it all up and running, we figured out our goal. So we've got my goal, I've got my week goal. So it needs to be specific. Jennifer Ince, on the 16th of December 2018, has reached 86 kilos, okay? So that's my specific goal. So now what I need to do is, it's all about internal representations as well. So what I need to do is think about what that last step is of me achieving that goal. How do I know that I've got it? So how I would know that I would have got it is that I would be stepping on the scales and I would look down. So that's kind of my image of the very last thing to occur before I know that I've got it. So that's an image that I'll probably have as my internal representation when it comes to setting my goal for today. So basically, my image that I'm going to have is me on the scales, looking down at my feet, just like those photos that I post every week, looking down at my feet and seeing the number on the scales. That's my internal representation. That's my image I'm going to use. So when you're using that internal representation or that picture of you achieving that goal, make it the best, most beautiful, amazing thing that you've ever seen in your whole entire life. Make it beautiful and colorful. Put some sounds to it that's so motivational and inspiring. Put anything that you want to do. Auditory, you want to have visuals, so you want it to be bright and beautiful and the biggest beautiful thing that you've ever seen. And so you really want to make it something that's really special to you, that's going to be motivational and going to get you to achieving that goal. So once you've got that, there might be sounds, images, it might even be taste. You might be able to taste something, feelings that you might have about it as well. You might be feeling inspired or motivated or happy or proud that you achieved your goal. It could be any of those types of things, but really embody it holistically, that image of you achieving that goal, yeah? So once you've done that and you've been able to make the best kind of representation, that version of that internal representation as possible, then what you need to do is just step into that image. So you're looking through your own eyes, okay? And so you're really kind of embodying that, and then you're making those changes and making sure that the kinesthetic and the visual, auditory, all those types of things within that image is amazing, yeah? So once you've done that, then you step out of the image. So you're looking at yourself, your whole body in that image. So basically, you stepped out of that image. You're not looking through your own eyes anymore. You are still in the image, achieving that goal, maybe standing on the scales like for myself, but you're looking at yourself standing on the scales, yeah? So you're in there achieving that goal in that image, in that beautiful image that you've just changed all those modalities with, yeah? So basically what you need to do now is we talk about a thing called the timeline. Now, this is something that we will explain at the workshop, and I know that a lot of people might not know what this is, but basically it's the way that we represent our timeline. Sometimes the future's in front of us, the past is behind us, if we imagine a line of where our future and our past would be. Other times it might be the future's to our right and the past is to our left. It could be any which way that you have. Whatever way your timeline is perfect. But what we need to do now is we need to float above that timeline, above now. And basically we're holding on to that image in our hands, yeah? So we've got that image. Remember that image that we've taken a snapshot of, me standing on the scales, the most beautiful, colourful, amazing picture that I possibly can get. I'm looking at myself in the picture as well. So I'm in that picture and I'm holding it, yeah? And so you want to breathe the life into that picture. So this is a Huna breathing technique that we'll talk about as well, but you want to breathe your life into that picture. You're putting your life force into that goal, and that's what it's all about. And it's basically taking 4 deep breaths. Yeah, just like that, really passionately putting your life breath into that image, yeah? And again, now, of course, I'm not doing it properly today, but that's exactly what we're meant to be doing. We're breathing our life force into that image that we've got right in front of us that we're holding, yeah? And so what you do is then you float above your timeline to the time period that you've given. So me, it's a week, so next week. So it's like looking at the boxes of a calendar on a scale, on the dates. So you're going along, and so the 16th of December on the calendar, basically I've stopped there, and what I'm going to do after I've breathed the life force into it is just let it drop down into the 16th of December. And so you can even imagine that floating down into the position, down into the 16th of December. And so when you're doing that, it's kind of like you see your timeline align with that goal. And it's really interesting how it kind of happens. And once you've done that and you've let it go, it's landed in the date that you were planning on doing, then just come back to now, and then that is basically the steps on putting a goal into your future. Now you can do this for any date, any month. This was just a 1 week. I need to go along and do the 1 month, 3, 6, 9, 12 months as we go along. So mine are all going to be based on weight, obviously, because we're doing the Better Choice journey, and I'm going to achieve a goal in a year. So that's what I'm aiming for with me. But you can do them for anything, as long as you're using a smart goal and that you're breathing the life into it. That's what's really important as well, breathing your life into it as well, and really giving that life force and that energy to be able to achieve that goal. But other than that, that is all I'm going to tell you about it today. Please look out for the events, as we're going to put on a workshop and we're going to actually set our own goals. And you'll be surprised how amazing that it actually works. I remember when I did my NLP training, we were setting some goals into the future when it came to business and so forth. And one of the goals was in a year's time, and this was in November, in a year's time, I wanted to, or last November, sorry, in a year's time, I wanted to have my own space, like our own bricks and mortar business. Well, 4 months later, we're in our own business because it kind of happened a lot quicker than we were expecting. So expect that even though you might have put a time on it, it's most likely going to happen a lot earlier than you think as well. All right, so just be mindful of that, but enjoy. I hope that you're able to get a bit of an idea about goal setting. Please, would love to see you come to one of our workshops. So keep an eye out on the events page, and I'll keep everyone posted as to when the dates are when it comes to that. And I look forward to hearing everyone's successes. So good luck, everybody. Thank you. Bye.